Hello! A week that's brought joy and pain, this, like a soiree at Max Mosley's. World Cup qualifying very much on the agenda around the planet. While at Wembley, England were no longer unqualified success and the fans were all the happier for it, the geezers were also erupting in Iceland as they became the smallest nation ever, etc. and so on, huffing and puffing their way to a playoff spot. And look, pushing all the other big events that week in Iceland off the front pages, fletter-bladed. Belgian too, congratulations to them, not only booking their World Cup place, but doubling the number of famous nationals in the process. The star very much Lukaku, the biggest Romulan threat since the wrath of Khan, on all the front pages, obrigado, there in La Libra, and Het Laatste News, world class, with a whole 16 pages dedicated to the Red Devils. My favourite of them are very much this one here, featuring how this Belgian squad looked the last time the country qualified. Look, there's a baby-faced Eden Hazard, a cherubic Kevin De Bruyne, and Vincent Kompany, fresh from reading of poetry at the Jazz Club. Elsewhere, though, as I say, it wasn't all smiles. Portugal, for example, less than thrilled to be in the playoffs once again, or jogo more off than play. But for the real heartbreak, it's across the Atlantic we go to CONCACAF and the tragic tussle between Mexico and Panama for a playoff spot against New Zealand. Now first, Mexico hosted Panama at the Azteca Stadium, and with minutes to go, Panama were all set to seal that historic playoff spot, only for Raul Jimenez to suddenly snatch a win at the death with an absolutely extraordinary Chilena overhead kick. The dream goal, as Record called it, or as they put it in Panama, which pretty much summed it up. Still, 4 days later, it was Panama dreaming again. There they were, leading 1-0 against the USA with 90 minutes play, while Chicharito's dismal form in Mexico's loss to Costa Rica meant El Tri was set to follow Maradona's example and exit the World Cup because of a little P. But boom, it happened again. In extra time, Panama conceding twice to a USA side with nothing to play for. The Americans sailing through Panama as easily as ships on the eponymous canal, putting them out and Mexico back in the playoff. What an irony! The USA rescuing their rivals from south of the Rio Grande, and credit to the Mexicans, they certainly knew how to say thank you. And indeed, thank you. And indeed, we love you, amigos. And why not have another thank you? And indeed, this from La Prensa in a star-spangled font here. And La Prensa, like many of the other Mexican papers, saying it is a national shame, big red cross through El Tri there. It's all thanks to the United States, but we do not deserve to be in this playoff. Well, as for Panama, meanwhile, the Americans rather less popular there. Let's have a look. While Deli Valdez says it's all his fault, this death is all on me. Deli Valdez, the Panama manager. El Siglo has Night of Terror. A river of tears, the gringos make a nation weep. Ay, ay, ay. Not the first time, of course, that the US has turned up in Panama and caused general unhappiness, as Noriega will tell you. But condolences, anyway, to the brave Panamanians. More international fun and games coming up for the rest of us in November, and, of course, the chance to see if Mexico will now get beaten at home and in Wellington. Again, like a night in with Max Mosley. For now, though, that's it from our paper review. We'll be back in 7 days' time with a reaction to another round of Champions League action. See you then.